All right, guys. I know I've messed this up pretty good. um, Let me see if I can go to another screen here. Bear with me. Let's see. Bear with, guys. Here. Uh, Stop. I started a different feed. Sorry for the delay. Got that. Okay, I'm here. So I thanks, guys, for jumping over to this live stream instead of the one that I was trying to get going a minute ago. Rough Rides, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, so I got a new webcam, so I'm not using my phone anymore to do all the live streaming, and the cord on this thing is so short that it's messing everything up. So I went out and bought an extension, and it doesn't seem like the extension wants to work with the camera. So here I am. I am here finally. All right. Oops. I got rid of a screen that I need. Jeez. What a night. What a night. Happy Friday, everyone. And let's see. Let me bring up different. I'm gonna go on. I know I'm gonna worry about Instagram. I know that the other guys will come over when they realize that I messed up. The window. I'm gonna give the other guys another minute or two. Yeah, technology sucks. I mean, it's everywhere, and you gotta roll with it. Let me see if the other guys are still in what was supposed to be the live stream, but coming this. All right. Well, I'm not sure if they're still in the other, waiting in the other feed or not, but Old Car Auto Guy and Eric's Garage were here. Classic Rides. Hey, Classic Rides. Nice to have you here all the way from Dallas. Appreciate you coming in. Yeah, so anyways, for you guys that weren't a part of, didn't know about the, hey, Jason, here you are. Yeah, boy, this has been a heck of a night. So as I was saying, I, got that new webcam, and it was such a short cord that I went out and bought an extension, and the webcam didn't want to work with it, so I had to go back to this, and it's been a whole lot of fun. Hopefully, I'll get it all figured out for the next live stream, but we'll see. So thank you guys again for being here. I really appreciate it. Last night, I want to, I've been thanking you, Jason, all over the place for letting me come over to co-host your live stream, and it was a ton of fun, and I really appreciate it. And hey, Lainey, how are you? I'm glad that you're on here as well. I appreciate that. Yeah. Jason, it definitely those live streams do make a difference because I've picked up 5 subscribers since the beginning of that live stream. So wicked happy about that. So without further ado, yes, certainly. Yes, it's definitely doing its what it needs to grow. So I'm again extremely happy and excited about that. I'm trying to fit you guys in one screen and look at what I'm doing in another one because again, this is with this webcam, it's all new for me. But we're gonna start off with something that actually Jason had asked me about on the on his Instagram and Facebook. And so there's a report out that Chevrolet has about 9,000 2019, maybe 18 and 19, but 9,000. Did I say 20? Wow. 9,000 Corvettes sitting, waiting to be purchased. And the question was whether, Corvettes, starting to go down or what the deal is. And I got to say, I'm not 100% sure where I heard this. I can't remember whether I read it or whether I saw it on another video like Rick Conti from Conti's Corvette. I'm not sure if it's one of his videos, but I very distinctly remember, hearing, reading somewhere that GM was intentionally building up a good inventory of C7 Corvettes in preparations for the new car to come out. And as I said in the post to Jason, that I got into a kind of a heated discussion with a couple of guys on a Facebook page about it. And they're like, well, why would anybody do that? Because the new car is coming out. From what I understand, the new car is not coming out until sometime in 2020. So, and from what I understand, they're going to be stopping production somewhere like in June of the C7 so that they can, refit the factory for the new C8 mid-engine car. But the problem being Corvette, this generation of Corvette is one of the best-selling generations that GM is, and Chevy has ever had. It's brought in a lot of young buyers, a lot of older, guys that have been into Corvettes, love this car. So they wanted to build out a bunch of cars to make sure that during the changeover, they have product on the ground. They're also doing it from, and this is more of my guess than anything that I read, but they also doing it because there's a fair amount of people that aren't excited about the mid-engine car because they're worried that it's going to be way expensive and all that sort of stuff. Excuse me. So they're going to keep some of those mid-end or front-engine cars around so that anybody that may still want one can get it. So that's again, that's what I understand. I don't think it has, there also has been the problem with, electrical system, on the mid-size car or the mid-engine car, which has pushed that production date back. So there's a whole bunch of things going on. And I will see if I can find the video or where I came up with that crazy hairball, idea and put it in the description later on, just so that you get in there. Oh, look, my wife's on there. Hi. Yes, the camera does look really nice. So I'm going to go to the stream, make sure I'm not missing anybody here. Rough rods. Buyers waiting for mid-engine beast. Excuse me. Yes, there's a lot in there that are also wanting to buy, thinking about buying one now instead of waiting, and then once the Z06 version of the new car comes out, then they'll switch over to the mid-engine. There's a whole bunch of things going on. But it'll be like the 83 C3 C4, yeah, more or less. One of the last videos that I remember seeing from Rick Conti, they were deciding whether, or still in process of deciding whether there was going to be a 2020 C7 or whether they're just going to keep it 2019 and do the whole C4 thing again. So we'll have to see with that. So we've got Junk from work here. Thank you very much for stopping in. And I'm probably going to say it, Uzo Lu Garage. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Thank you for subscribing and for coming over to this live stream. I really appreciate it. And again, as I said, my lovely wife is here. So I hope, Jason, that gave you a little bit of what I was, talking about with the C9 core or C7 and /C8 cars. All right, cool. I'm glad I said it all right. All right, going over to some other news. Staying with GM. GM, this is according to Roadshow. Excuse me, guys. Has granted a stay of execution for the Cadillac CT6 and the Impala until 2020. So what that means is they're larger cars, the CT6 and the Impala. They will still be making those for another year or so, which the last reports that were out there were at the end of this year, no more of the Impala Cadillac CT6. What other cars were going, the way of the Dodo? A lot of cars, they're doing very similar to Ford, and I think, in particular, stupid idea. Hey, Lane, thanks for staying in as long as you could. Get your homework done, okay? Get that homework done, because I know that you probably have some. So let's see. Yeah, November. They killed off multiple. What is the CT6? It's a Cadillac. Their full-size car. So yes, in November, GM announced it would kill off multiple models and idle multiple plants as part of a cost-saving measure in 2019. Now it appears that at least some of these cars and locations will be granted a brief reprieve from the executioner's axe. They announced today that they would extend production of the CT6, Cadillac CT6, and the Impala at the Detroit Hamtramck assembly facility until 2020. Originally, these two vehicles were supposed to die in June, and sometime that the plant would be, after that, the plant would be idled. GM partially attributed this decision to the tech inside one of the newest CT6 variants, the Wild CT6V, not the V Sport, will pack. Ooh, wow. Cadillac's new 4.2-liter Blackwing V8, which uses two turbochargers to produce a gnarly 550 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. CT6 is also the only Cadillac model at the moment to pack Super Cruise, which is an impressive array of safety systems that allows for hands-off driving. I think it is built on the Impala platform. I do believe you are correct. I believe both these, although, yeah, torque out the wazoo, that's for sure. I almost think the CT6 is a rear-wheel drive, whereas the Impala is the front. I will see if I can find. But if they're both at the same plant, that it seems kind of odd that they would be building a front wheel drive and a rear wheel drive in the same plant. But I suppose it's possible. Kathy is asking if do they have the North Star? I don't think the North Star is around anymore. It could be wrong. I'm not as up on Cadillac engines as others, but boy, that Blackwing 4.2 sounds like something I'd love to, get in a car, because that's a heck of a lot of horsepower and a whole lot of torque. The UAW is all happy that they're going to stay there for a little bit longer. Eford's Garage is now in the house. Thanks for stopping in. I'm pretty sure they dropped North Star not too long ago. Yeah, I thought they had killed that off not long ago as well, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So let's see. Other cars slated to shuffle off this mortal coil have been bumped around in recent weeks. Automotive News points out that the Chevy Cruze will get an extra week of production. Wow, good for them. Now ending on March 8th, and the Buick LaCrosse. Oh no, honey, we're gonna have to get a LaCrosse quick, and the Chevy Volt, whose production has ended this week at Hamtramck, well ahead of schedule. So they must have a bunch of extra stock of those around. In other news, Caddy is the front rear. Yes, that's what I thought. Again, I'm surprised that they're built in the same plant, but nowadays with the technology that are in these factories, they can pretty much build anything as long as the tooling's there. So it's pretty cool. Wonder about worker morale. Seriously, that is a very good point, Rough Rods. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're very happy that they've got at least another year of work, but you got to go that yo-yo effect of, do I have a job? Do I not? All right. Other news. We have a story from Associated Press. Ford begins probe into whether gas mileage was overstated. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is true. Oshawa did have a ton of flexibility on what they produced. I think they produced the Malibu and the Camaro and the Impala and a whole bunch of other stuff. I gotta say, I do feel bad for the guys in Canada. They seem like they've gotten the rawest deal out of this whole GM thing. But yep. But now shut down. Yep, that is very true, Jason. So Ford has launched an investigation into whether flaws in an internal mathematic model may have caused it to overstate gas mileage and understate pollution from a wide range of vehicles. Sure, blame it on the math, Ford. At least Volkswagen came out and said they did it. Those guys over there, those engineers, they're the bad guys. No, everybody's gonna blame it on something other than themselves. VW all over again, absolutely. But these all look like that they are gas-powered vehicles, not diesels. After on, glad I got to stop in. Thank you, Ozo Lou Garage. I appreciate you stopping in, even for the little bit. Every view, every person here is I'm very thankful for it, and we will see you in another stream later on. Yes, so let's see. The company says a group of employees reported possible problems with the model in September. Okay, what model are they talking about here? The 2019 Ford Ranger. That's not a good way to go, starting out with a new Ranger. And if problems are found, the company will start looking at models dating back to 2017. Ford says it has no evidence yet that mileage or pollution numbers are wrong, but the investigation has just started. Company says it's too early to tell how many and which models might be involved. So, you know that if they find there's a bunch of cars understated in mileage, that the government is going to get involved, and they are not going to be happy about it. Let's see what we're going with the comments here. Seems all computers overstate miles per gallon compared to real fill up. That is very true. A lot of these companies do use a formula rather than actually taking the car out and driving it. Seems kind of interesting. Hey Pete, nice to have you here. Camaro time in the house. By the way, if you guys are fans of Camaros and you have not been over to his channel to check out the all the different generations, he put a nice video together on all the generations, and it's a really great set of videos to watch if you are a Camaro fan. Did you get Gen 6 out yet, Camaro? Pete, did you get Gen 6 video out, or is that still in the works? So anyways, Ford could be in trouble. Oh no. All right, got some recalls to talk about. This one, I don't know if any of my viewers will have this. Not yet, but it is uploaded. Okay, cool. Can't wait to see the Gen 6 video. Anybody out there have a Mercedes S-Class sedan, coupe, or convertible? I know I've got one. I'm just gonna no, I don't have one. If you do, 2018 or 19 models are being recalled. 6,200 of them are being recalled because their automated steering functions, such as lane centering and lane keep assist, may continue to work even when the driver's hands are off of the wheel for a prolonged period of time. When it is working as intended, the system should warn if it does not detect a driver's hands on the wheel. If the driver doesn't respond to repeated warnings, the car will turn on its hazard lights and slowly come to a stop. So their hands-free system, which really isn't hands-free, could be faulty. And if you have a 2018 or 19 S-Class, you might want to get that checked out. I know I do. You just sold yours, Jason? Oh, come on, man. Camaro time. When I buy a car, I look at resale versus purchase price. If there is a huge difference, there is a reason most of the time the car is junk. Absolutely. Yes, Mercedes, their resale depreciation and resale is amazing how much value they lose, especially these high-end ones. Even the Bentley and Rolls-Royce, all those cars suffer from insane depreciation. I could not even think about owning something like that. It's kind of scary to keep away. I agree with you, Eford Garage. That sort of stuff scares me. The automated driving and the hands-free stuff. It's just I am old school. I like to be in control of my car, and it even scares me with the thought of somebody else driving who doesn't have control of their car and is letting computers take care of it. Break down a lot, and they cost too much just in maintenance. Yes, Mercedes and all those other cars. Not years ago, but the last job I had when I was working for Capstone Community Action, my job was to go around and teach low-income families who were getting state help. I teach them about car purchasing, car ownership, all that sort of stuff. And a lot of these were like, oh, I'm going to go out and get that Mercedes that's at auction or whatever. It's like, no, please don't do that. Or it's even worse. Another part of my job was when people would buy cars and then they needed a bunch of work, and then they'd send all that paperwork to the state and then to me to look at to make sure that the car was worth fixing. And I would just, put my, do a face palm, when I would look at these, some of these cars, like, Mercedes, Volvos, BMWs, and like, no, there's just absolutely no way that this, 15-year-old BMW is worth putting, $3,000 worth of stuff into, because, it's just, I mean, great cars. Don't get me wrong. They're great until you have to fix them. Maybe they will design one that makes its own payments. Rough rods. That's a great one. I wish that we could find a car that would do that. It would definitely make a whole lot of people's lives a whole lot more interesting. Oh, and looks like I missed one of my recalls. Let's go back in there and see what it. I know I saw. Oh yes, Nissan Murano. This is Consumer Reports reported this a couple days ago. Nissan is recalling 86,265 Murano SUVs from the 2009 model year to address a potential faulty part in the anti-lock braking system. If the part fails, the brake pedal may move closer to the floor than usual and more quickly than the driver may expect. Cool. Not cool, I should say. But and this is the kind of car that, you're starting to see a lot on some used car lots. Camaro time, I still didn't see that F-150. Let me go back in, since I'm right in this page, and see if I can find that, because I know you've mentioned it a couple times, and I just either am not paying attention or just didn't see it. Let's see. Recalls. Okay. Transmission issues. This was just before Valentine's Day. Just type in F-150 recall. Yeah, this is the most recent recall for the Ford F-150. This is again back from the 13th of February. Ford Motor Company says on Wednesday it will be recalling 1.48 million F-150 pickup trucks in North America due to a potential transmission downshift issue that could increase the risk of a crash. All right, cool. Glad I'm finally getting this out, because I completely, skimmed over it or missed it. Ford said select 2011 through 13 model year trucks with 6-speed automatics could experience an unintended downshift into first gear without warning, which could result in loss of control, plus the end of your transmission, especially if you're in higher rev range. Ford is aware of 5 accidents, including 1 report of whiplash potentially related to the issue. The recall covers 1.26 million trucks in the U.S. and 221,000 in Canada. So what year is your plow truck, Jason? Because you might want to get that looked at. Excuse me. There's also apparently a 2011. That's potentially part of your the recall. It says 11 through 13 model years with a 6-speed auto. So you might want to drive that over to your Ford dealer and see if it's a part of that. But I'm sure you'll get something in the mail before too much longer if that's the case. Other recalls that it's in the same article. Ford also said it is issuing a recall on 28,000 2017 to 19 Lincoln Continentals for a door latch that may not engage due to a buildup of silicone contamination and could result in the door opening while driving. That's definitely not good. No issues, no accidents have been reported with that one. And the last one is 4200 2019 Ford Mustangs and Lincoln Nautilus and Navigators. No, not Zelda. Luckily, she's way older, and we don't have to worry about that. Although I wouldn't mind getting my hands on one of those new suicide door ones that cost $100,000, but I don't see that happening. At least not for a while. 4200 Lincoln Nautilus Navigators and the Ford Mustang instrument cluster assemblies that are blank when the vehicles are started. Dealers will update the software, no crashes or anything with that one. So, and staying with Ford, this is from a couple days ago. The 2019 Ford Fusion Energy is being recalled over exposed fuse. Not many. It's only about 2,100 cars, but it's due to an uncovered high voltage fuse. And anybody that knows anything about anything about high voltage stuff, there are certain wires and connections and fuses you do not want to touch if you enjoy your life. Yeah, definitely if you've got one of those, have it checked out. 2019 Ford Fusion Energy sedans. I'm not sure these things are going to be, those aren't going to be around much longer if I do remember. But yeah. All right, going through here. Once worked with Ford IP clusters when analog. They didn't finish the ejector seats. Hey, Eric's Garage, AZ in the house. Thanks for coming over. I'm so sorry I kind of screwed up that other feed. And I'm, again, very happy to have been able to give you that shout out. I hope you found some sort of new subscribers out of it. And again, I'll say it again. If you guys have not been over to Eric's Garage AZ and checked out his videos, he's got some killer stuff up there. Really good quality, stuff. The cars are amazing. Correct me if I'm wrong, Eric. You were at Barrett Jackson and did some videos. Because if you were there, man, I got to come out and stay with you during the auction week there, because they definitely have some amazing cars. $1 million cars, yeah, just amazing. So anyways, that's all I got for news. I was kind of in a scramble because of the camera not deciding it wanted to work and a bunch of other stuff. So if anybody's got any sort of questions for me or anything else that we could throw in there to throw around as questions, whatever, then we'll do that. Give about 5 more minutes to just kind of throw stuff around. Otherwise, we'll cut this short. I do have to say this is my best live stream so far. I've got 8 people, in the chat right now, which is viewing this right now, which is a record for me. So again, thank you guys all for doing this. Hammond's Caddy engine. Oh, right. So if you guys haven't been watching the Grand Tour on Amazon Prime, the newest video that they posted, they were in China and they imported European cars to China and drove them around there. And one of the funniest cars there was a Cadillac CTS, and Hammond was just talking amazing stuff about the best engine ever and all this stuff. I'm sitting there going, no, not that I remember. I think that it was one of the early, anyways, early North Star, engines were terrible. Head gaskets, going left and right. I almost think I remember something about head bolts breaking, stuff like that. The best engine never. Yep. Okay, classic rides. I'm still here, but having to actually work here at work. Oh my gosh, how can they make you do that? But yes, the best thing is here. After a while, the North Star did live up to its reputation and died in a big cloud of radiator fluid. So, yep, not work. I mean, this late in the day. But hey, you got to do what you got to do, right, guys? Let's see what else is in there. Yeah, well, that's a good idea. Other videos that I've been kind of watching lately, pretty much the same stuff as before. A lot of Cletus, a lot of street speed, trying to get some good ideas there. Yes, Eric, where in Arizona are you, and how long has it been since the last time you guys saw snow? That's that your Instagram photos of the ice and stuff were, blowing my mind. And I think I also saw something Las Vegas getting snow. 1913. Global warming, everybody. Global warming. Let's say Cadillac Time chimed in with North Star had big overheating problems with the heads. Even GM did not want to work on them. Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought about it. I know that when I was back in college for auto tech, upperclassman had a car with the North Star, and he just had nothing but problems with it. Yeah, 1913 was the last time Arizona had snow, and that's just blows my mind. See, old car, Jason, I appreciate you keeping an eye out for me on the Cordoba parts. Yeah. What are you still looking for? Just so we've got maybe one or two other different people in here who might be able to keep that lookout for you. Parts are way more abundant than Cordobas. Run across one of these Cordobas in the yards. Yep. Yeah. I'm more familiar with the single headlight, the older stuff. But I do like your quad headlight 79. That's pretty cool. Grill and turn signal lenses. So anybody else out there that 75 to 77 Cordoba with grill and turn that he needs a grill and turn signal lenses. All right. I know that I'm not going to find anything like that for you around here, but no. I have not seen a Cordoba in the yards or even the streets here. Yeah, those are one of those. They have them. Oh, 75. Okay, 75 to 77 was the single headlight. Yours is a 79, right? Mopars are the hardest to find around here in the yards. Ricardo bought them up. Yeah, right. Montalban, the plush Corinthian leather. Yep, those things definitely were amazing. Another video I just watched recently. Tyler Hoover, Hoovy's Garage, just released one of his cars that he bought before his self-imposed no buying any cars for 2019. 1976 Cadillac Eldorado, 500 cubic inch big block, pumping out, I think he said, a whopping 190 horsepower. Oh, I just can't. The government's so screwed up the cars in the 70s with all the emissions. Yes, it did save our the environment from pollution and stuff, but yeah. 78 or 79 is what uh, old car auto guy Jason is. His Cordoba, they're the same. So if anybody is out there who finds a grill or turn signal lenses for a 78 or 9, then send him on his way. 79 Chrysler 300. I don't. I watched a couple of the Wizards videos. I just haven't really gotten into him. I can't even remember whether I have a subscription to him, but it's something that I need to do. Classic Ride Society just picked up a 69 Ford 429 for $300. Whoa! Does it turn, or what was it attached to at one point? Kia and Hyundais everywhere here, and Mustangs. Yeah. He's putting an old 350 diesel engine into his old Caddy. Yeah, good for him with that. Those things were just about as bad as the North Stars, if I remember correctly. Eric's Garage, I gotta run. I'm working at the hospital as an RN. Oh, thank you for everything that you do in the for RNing. And yep, drive it like you stole it, bitches. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you stopping in even for a little bit. Take care. 69 Country Squire, nice. That's quite the engine to have. Feel like shipping it to Vermont for free, and I'll throw that into Zelda. Lol. We'll be drop a video on it soon. Cool. Was that the? Did you post a video on that Country Squire, or was it another car? I know that you had a wagon on there not long ago. But $300 for a 429 is a heck of a deal. Hey, Nacho Dad's in the house. Thanks for stopping in. Very much appreciate it. Country Squire makes me think of the Vacation movie. Yeah, very, very, very funny. I love the Queen's Family Truckster, I think is what it was called. Haven't posted a video. Okay. Yeah, it must be a different video I must have been thinking of, but that's the one I'm thinking of, the 72 Town and Country. Boy, they got some great cars down in Texas. Griswold Family Truckster. Yeah. Actually, I actually scored some parts for Zelda about a week and a half ago. Still waiting on taxes to come back to actually pay for them. But this gentleman that I met at a Cars and Coffee, it's got an 83 Ford Thunderbird that he's been working on. What did he do? He swapped the engines out with a 5.0 HO from a Mark 7. Done a bunch of stuff to the car. It's a great looking car. And he ended up offering me, first off, he helped me with a starter issue that I had with Zelda. And now he's changing out the entire exhaust system, headers and everything, and offered to sell them to me wicked cheap for $150 for the entire system, which should theoretically bolt right up. It might have to put in a few extra inches of exhaust somewhere in the system to get it out to where it needs to be, but otherwise I got a complete system that is a definite step up from what's sitting in Zelda right now. So that will be an upcoming video if I can figure out how to get the car high enough off the ground to get the exhaust on it. So that, keep an eye out for that. Of course, that will not come until definitely spring, maybe not until May, when things finally decide they want to dry out, and I can actually, get some stuff done on the old Zelda girl. Other stuff that I know that she's going to need. Pretty sure that the front end needs some tightening up to pass Vermont inspection. Also, definitely need some new tires, and if I could find some 5x114.3s, 16, 17 inch that look decent. I'd love to, upgrade the wheel and tire package, but if not, I will definitely just throw some new tires on her. Eford Garage, yeah, it would be great if things would dry out. Yes, of course. So we've got here in Vermont. It's very interesting. All right, Camaro Time is asking if anyone finds a non-cracked dash for a 93, 95 Camaro to let him know. All right, so anybody out there, classic rides, I know you've had a lot of Camaros and Firebirds on your junkyard travels, so I don't know if you've seen anything like that out there, but it's definitely not a bad thing to to ask. I'm more than happy to throw all that stuff out there too for everybody to know about. Classic Rides, looking through, also is saying you got a 440 for $250. Huh. You are one lucky man. Of course, I'm sure it doesn't hurt that you're in the junkyards all the time. Classic, do you actually work in a yard, or do you just visit lots of yards? So many people have all the luck. Quite a bit of fourth gen F buddies out there. Cool. Yeah, definitely. Anybody who's not following Camaro Time, go over and check out his stuff. He's got some really great stuff there as well. All right, let's see. You just like roaming the yards. Again, I don't get me wrong. I love where I live. It's beautiful. A lot of the time here in Vermont, winters stink because it's harder to do what I'm doing, which is why I do lots of live streams rather than other stuff. But there aren't a ton of good wrecking yards to be able to go and look through. Excuse me, guys. I think that's mostly because of something that we have. It's called Act 250, zoning laws, and it just makes it really hard for scrap yards to stay in the state. I try to keep mine looking good. Makes sense. Seeing most of these Camaros either stripped already for drag cars, or most of them are at the dirt tracks now. Eford's Garage was saying, and yeah, that makes sense. That was one of the biggest things back in the day that. Hey, Jason, thanks for stopping in. Really appreciate it. And yeah, get ready for all your uploads for tomorrow. I don't want to keep you. Yeah, so not a lot of scrap yards. Yeah. Anyways. Anything else you guys have to? Oh, the drags. Okay, I know where I was going. Thanks for reminding me. Back when I was a kid, way before I was able to drive, excuse me, my grandmother, she was a cool old lady who drove some really cool cars. Um, Oldest thing I remember her having, I think, was around a 63 or 4 Impala. It was pink, so I'm pretty sure it was a Mary Kay car. I don't think she was, I'm pretty sure she wasn't a Mary Kay, lady, but, she drove that around for a while. Then I remember she had a Dodge, a Plymouth Duster. Think that had a 340 in it, greenish color. Then she had a 76, around a 76 Ford Maverick that my parents gave to her when the Duster was no longer worthy. And then the final car she had before she passed, back in 87, was a 75 Monte Carlo. This car had low miles, was in pristine shape, had a Landau vinyl top on it with just a little, probably no more than that, rip in it. Otherwise, this car was perfect, absolutely perfect. And both my brother and I were so young that neither of us were close to driving, and we both begged and pleaded my dad to bring the Monte back to Vermont. There goes my dog, and he didn't want to do it, didn't do it for whatever reason, and a cousin. Oh, thank you, darling. Best wife ever. So they ended up selling it to like a second or third cousin, something like that, and he turned it into a circle track car, and just killed me. I can see doing that with cars that have led a rough life and can't be on the road, but that one was definitely not it. Anyways, let's go back into the chat. There's a drag strip. If there's a drag strip anywhere close, people want a fortune for everything. That is very true. There's no, the closest drag strips to here would be Lebanon Valley over in West Lebanon, New York, which is about a 2-hour drive. Then in New Hampshire, there's New England Dragway, which that's probably 2.5 hours. And then there's one in Canada just over the border, Napersville, which is probably good, again, another 2.5 hours. So we don't have, we've got a couple of, we got a dirt track that's close by. We've got a small oval that's about an hour and a half away. So there's not a whole lot, which is why I do a lot with the autocross, doing the videos there, is because it's about the easiest thing for me to go watch that is, a motorsports. Eford Garage, yeah, there are quite a few dirt tracks close around here, so good cars still get torn up for no reason. Yeah, and I don't understand that. 3 drag strips within 2 hours. I can see some drag, some cars, again, decent cars that, again, have lived a good life, that somebody wants to put the extra time in to do drag cars, but, 8.25 mile track around here says classic. First gen S10s and third gen Camaros have all gone out to the yards. Gone out of the yards. Yeah, I would love to get my hands on a first gen S10. I think the size of those things were killer. Plus the fact you can get a V8 shoehorned in under the hood definitely makes those things some fun rides. Seen a first gen Camaro body. Guy wanted $500 for it. 2 years later, they built it into dragster within 120 minutes of it. Then the car went up to $3,000. Very much. It's amazing how much things just go up real quickly, especially when you get them into drag condition. Classic rides. My brother had a 77 Monty, totaled leaving the club one Saturday night. Yeah. I said in last night's live stream with old car auto guy. I had a 79 Buick Regal that was never roadworthy, so I never got to drive it on the road, but it was my sister-in-law's car originally. She drove it a lot, and that was a ton of fun. 73 Monty is coming up at a local auction. Yeah, that's definitely worth snagging if it's in a good condition. I mean, that's the other thing with here in Vermont. We've got a couple of public auctions, but they don't have anything of any interesting age. Everything we've got up here is maybe mid 90s and newer, and they're all just they're dealer trades that of course dealers don't want to deal with, and most of them are just in crappy condition. Did you know that the Camaro 01 was turned into a drag car? No, Camaro time, I did not. Pete, I did not know that the very first Camaro was turned into a drag car. That's a shame. Beer would be better. Yep, beer is definitely good, Rough Rods. And shoehorn to V8, yes. Eford Garage, I love your S10 build. I love those Baja style, the S10 Baja style rims that you got on it. Those looked killer back when they were brand new and whatnot. So that's awesome. Have an 80 Camaro or Monte Carlo, sorry, with a 5.3. I love those G bodies. Love to get into another one of those soon, but we'll see. Years later, father and son found it and restored it. I'm going to do a video on it. Definitely, that would be a cool video to watch. Nacho's dad had a 85 S10 Blazer with a 305 in it, 350 trans. Nice. Top speed was barely 100. Well, even with anything other than they never had a high top speed. I had an 85. I had an 85 Blazer as well. Had the 2.8 V6, and that thing couldn't get out of its own way. It's one of those vehicles that I do regret getting rid of. So that's a good question for you guys. What car do you guys regret the most getting rid of? G bodies are going up now. That is very, very true. You can't. Now is the time to get a decent G body and fix it up, because then it's they're gonna start going up in price. That's for sure. Camaro time. My wife's 66 Mustang. Yes, that is a sad thought to get rid of. I've had a couple over my driving life. I do regret getting rid of the Blazer, although I blew the engine in it and couldn't afford to put a new engine in it. So I regret getting rid of an 86 base model Camaro that actually had T-top, so I don't think it was really base, but 2.8 liter, 5-speed. Again, one of those points that I couldn't afford to keep it on the road, so I ended up selling it. And within 3 weeks, the kid that bought it off me totaled it. And then the other car I regret getting rid of had an 89 Nissan 240 SX. It wasn't the greatest car in the world by any means, but it was fun as hell to drive. And this was when I was in back in college the second time around doing the auto tech stuff. A classmate of mine said, if you ever want to sell it, I'll give you, I'll give you money. And it's like, you can't afford it. And so I gave him what I thought was a ridiculous price that he would never be able to afford. And about a week and a half later, he walked in with a wad of cash. Of course, he was planning to do a bunch of stuff to it, rebuild the engine that was in it, and put turbocharge it, basically get it into a drift car. And a couple of years later, I saw him and asked him about the car. He's like, "Oh, I had to sell it because I couldn't do anything with it." I'm like, oh, man. Anyways, got some great dialogue going on in the chat. Let's see. Mine is a simple 350 TBI with a 4L60E. Very nice, Eford. Camaro time. She had a Cobra 2 with a Boss 302 in it when we were dating in high school. She got rid of it. That one as well. Yeah, that's regret selling my 77 TA. Ooh, I would regret that too. And 72 T37. I'm gotta say I'm not sure what the T37 is, Eford. So if you want to enlighten me a little bit more, I'd really appreciate it. Yep. S10 with a 427. Yep, that would be a one that I would regret getting rid of too. Man, a 427. That thing must have been so nose heavy. 2 regrets. First 2 cars: a 67 Chevelle and a 65 Mercury Marauder. Yes, I could. I feel your pain there as well. Speedo has. T37 was basically what the Pontiac Le Mans became. It had the GTO hood. Oh, okay. Now I get it. Yeah, I do remember as you're saying that. I think I do remember hearing about the T37. So that's cool. All right, guys. We've been in here for about an hour now, so I am going to. I think we're gonna wrap it up here in just a minute. Nacho's dad, 2000 Pontiac Firebird base. I bought it for $500. Built the 3800. Built a trans. Added a ton of suspension work. Loved it. I do have to say those 3800s. Those were killer engines. It's hard to kill those things. Love to. My ultimate, one of the things I'd absolutely love to do is find a Fiero out there that's in decent enough shape, and then get a motor out of Bonneville SSEI, the 3800 supercharged, and throw that in there. I think that would be a ton of fun to do, but I've got to get way bigger than I am now before that's going to be possible. But that is a dream for when things get going. So anyways, as I started to say, really appreciate all you guys for being here and really going through the chats. Can't do this stuff without you guys, and again, really appreciate you. Remember, there are some people in the chat that are looking for parts, so if you find anything for a Cordoba, let Jason know. If you find the Camaro dashboard, let Pete at Camaro Time know. And have a good one. We'll see you next time around. Take care.